Today I have a time for the topic about the elementary first aid and proficiency in personal survival technique. I just start for the elementary first aid. Normally it's a practice about 5 days. The short video from the internet. It's very easy for understand how to survive when the ship is abandoned. Okay, just start. This video start.
Blackjack, Mayday, Blackjack. 1 mile east of Cat Reef, Sydney Cast, 5 persons on board, EFIRB activated, 20-metre cap, white hull and service launching live.
This vessel is sent the Mayday tea time for abandoned station and need another vessel allow the abandoned ship is health.
Life raft is designed to withstand extreme conditions and provide shelter in an emergency, and it will contain equipment to support your safety and survival. This common style of life raft is built around inflatable tubes and a canopy that provides shelter from wind, water and sun. The raft is inflated from a gas cylinder with a mechanism that is activated by tension on the painter. The canopy flap can be secured to provide greatest protection from the elements, and this observation port allows for a lookout watch with minimal exposure. The canopy is highly visible in a safety colour with retro-reflective tape to increase visibility at night. There may also be a safety light on top. These weighted pockets beneath the floor will fill with water. They help to prevent the raft from overturning. These are not aids to righting the raft. You must use the righting lines designed for that purpose. Inside the raft are built-in arm loops and boarding lines. Safety and survival equipment is packed into bags. These are stored into the raft to avoid loss if the raft overturns. The raft is carefully packed into a weatherproof hard case or soft pack. Most commercial vessel life rafts will be packed into a hard case. The case is secured with special tapes that must not be cut or damaged in any way. Do not use any other material to close the case, otherwise you risk it not opening properly to release the raft. Most of the painter is tucked inside the case. The tail runs through a sealed gap and is then secured to the vessel. Avoid unnecessary pulling on the painter to avoid unintended inflation of the raft. As well as inflating the raft, the painter will secure it alongside the vessel or can be used to tie 2 rafts alongside each other. Life rafts have different carrying capacities, and it is essential that your raft matches the carrying capacity of your vessel. Your life raft must be stowed in a location that allows for quick and easy launching, and it must be secured correctly. Many rafts sit in a cradle or shock secured by a strap or lashing with a quick release and hydrostatic release. Never padlock your life raft down. If you do so in dock, you must remove the lock before you proceed to sea. You can easily release the lashings manually, or if the vessel sinks too quickly for you to do that, the hydrostatic release will automatically release the raft. It is important that you know how the life raft on your vessel is secured and deployed. Arrangements will vary depending on the size of the raft and design of your vessel. It is essential that you check the hydrostatic release is correctly installed. Failure to do so may make it difficult to free your life raft from the vessel in a highly stressful emergency situation. Don't forget to read the manufacturer's instructions carefully and look at the markings on the release to help you install it correctly. By law, a life raft must be serviced annually by an approved service centre. Here you see the service dates clearly marked on the life raft case. During the annual inspection, the integrity of the raft and tubes will be checked, the contents checked and replaced as needed. The cylinder and its contents and inflation mechanism will also be checked and then repacked. Let's now take a close look at the equipment you'll find in your life raft, such as survival and signalling equipment and ration packs for the immediate survival for the number of people it is certified to carry. The sea anchor or drogue reduces the speed of the drift of the life raft, prevents it from spinning and keeps it steady in the wind. Paddles provide the means for basic positioning and propulsion, enabling you to reach survivors, recover floating gear, or to move two rafts together. The hand pump, or bellows, allows you to pump up the buoyancy tubes as they lose air. A rescue quoit is either thrown to a survivor in the water or used by a rescuer swimming to a survivor. In both cases, the line must be secured to the life raft so that the person or persons can be pulled back on board. The torch is used to attract attention and should not be used routinely for light. Use the chemical light sticks instead. The repair kit contains rubber patches of different sizes, rubber adhesive, and leak stoppers. Signalling equipment includes a heliograph for reflecting light and pyrotechnics. There is also an air curve in the raft. There will be a sponge for soaking up drinking water and a baler for removing water from the raft, as well as a fishing line and hooks, and most importantly, seasickness tablets. Seasickness is unpleasant, reduces morale, and increases dehydration. Everyone on board should take a tablet as a precaution. There are also water and food packs. The food rations provide maximum energy while creating minimum thirst. Food is not as important as water in the short term, so the life raft rations may be something like barley sugar or special biscuits. Water is packed so that it is easy to ration and distribute.
For the life raft, we must maintain every year, 1 year, 1 time, for maintain the equipment, such as the medicine is out of date or not, and food. You just see they have the dry food but high energy. You can taste it. This one not all of the you can eat. Almost the medicine is antiseptic medicine, and the first aid kit and the seasick medicine. You can see, and have a bandage packing inside in the light lamp, and have a hand fan, parachute. When you abandon the ship, go to the lab, you have this one only for eat life. The 24 hours do not drink and eat, waiting 24 hours and then eat it. This is a technique for survive long time. Okay, the next one.
Now, and deploying the raft. In a situation where you have to abandon your vessel, you should have sent a Mayday radio message, alerting other vessels and rescue coordination centres of your situation. If you have sufficient time, put on extra clothing, drink plenty of water, and grab additional water, flares, food and blankets if available. You may already have a grab bag set up for this purpose. Make the vessel as watertight as possible by closing hatches and doors. Put on your life jacket before you go to your abandoned ship position. You should never leave your vessel without wearing a life jacket, even if you intend to enter the life raft directly from the vessel. To put the life jacket on, put it over your head. Put your arms through the upper tape loops. Cross the tails of the tapes behind your back. and then tie them off securely in front of the jacket. Now you're ready to launch the life raft. Here we assume the vessel is not sinking rapidly and that you're able to manually launch the raft. First check that the painter is made fast to the weak link on the hydrostatic release and release the raft from its cradle. Check that all is clear over the side, including people or debris that could damage them.
This one is they use the manual, right? Manual operate. But normally, if the Abaddon ship is we use the hydrostatic release for cutting the painting line. Okay. When the ship is down to the sea about 4 or 5 meters, this one is activated and have the cutter, the knife, cut the line, and then the line lamp is open.
Raft. Then throw the life raft overboard, making sure it lands clear of the vessel and anything in the water. Pull the painter until you reach its limit and give it a hard tug to activate the inflation mechanism. The raft should inflate in 20 to 30 seconds, and as it does, it will burst open the tapes that secure the case. The cylinder contains more gas than needed, and you might hear hissing as the overpressure relief valve vents the excess. It is possible that the life raft will inflate upside down. If it can't be righted from the vessel, a crew member wearing a life jacket will have to do it from the water. Do this as soon as possible, because if water fills the canopy, it will be much heavier and more difficult to right. Grab the righting strap and put your feet on top of the cylinder. Use your weight to heave the raft upright. If safe to do so, you can pull the life raft alongside for boarding. It's preferable to board it directly from the vessel. Wherever possible, you should avoid entering the water. Board the raft by climbing or jumping carefully from the vessel. If you have to jump into the water to board the raft, do so from the lowest point of the vessel. Keep your elbows tucked in, cover your nose and mouth with one hand, and hold the front of your life jacket down and close to your chest. Enter the water upright and with your legs straight and together. Never dive in head first. To enter the raft, place your feet onto the ladder and grab the boarding tapes as far inboard as possible. If you have to assist others into the raft, use the life jacket's buoyancy to assist the entry by pushing down to create a rebound effect that helps to lift the person into the raft. If you have to rescue survivors, use the rescue quoit and line. You may be able to throw the quoit to them. To avoid losing hold of the quoit, the survivor should wear it as high as possible on one arm. Set the sea anchor to prevent the life raft from drifting too far from the abandoned boat position. Activate the EPIRB, check the equipment in the life raft, and inspect for and attend to leaks and damage. Attend to any sick or injured people and issue anti-sickness tablets if you have not already done so. Pay particular attention to people who are wet. They are at risk of hypothermia. Do what you can to keep them out of the wind, get dry if possible, and huddle for warmth. In rough conditions, hook your arms into the loops so that you're not thrown around inside the raft. Your life raft will contain waterproof survival information and a distress signal card. Read them. Think too about how you can maintain morale. Keep people positive and active. In the first 24 hours, don't drink any water. Exceptions can be made for injured or sick survivors. Collect whatever water you can. Collect rainwater through the catchment tube in the canopy and fill every container possible. You can collect condensation from inside the canopy by using the sponge. You should drink the water you've collected before the packaged water. Never drink salt water. It will increase thirst and dehydration. You should be ready to signal to aircraft or vessels at all times. Only use your rockets if you are certain rescue craft are nearby or just beyond the horizon. Use your flares, smoke signals or heliograph when rescuers are within sight. If you are well prepared, and familiar with emergency procedures, you give yourself the best chance of surviving if you have to abandon your vessel. Ensure your life raft is set up correctly. Check it regularly. Make sure all crew are familiar with the emergency procedures and safety equipment on your vessel.
Some part of video said about the SAT. You see, this one is the SAT. Normally in the deck, when the abaddon, the officer must take him to the lilac, the SAT and EPER. This SAT is send the signal to the another vessel radar, X-band, X-ray band. Like a homing signal for help. When you saw the another vessel allow the lilac, just open like this. The signal is sent to the radar of the ship. This one. But if you not see the another vessel, don't open, okay? Because of battery. And EPER is when you abandon the vessel, we have a line attached here. Take the EPER on and then tow to the outside of the LiDAR. The EPER will send the signal to the satellite. The satellite compass the satellite sent to the lander station, and then lander station to the search and rescue team for help. Okay, this one very important. This one hand fair. You just open the hand fair. But parachute can the another vessel can see about 25 nautical miles. This one can shooting the fire in the sky about 300 meter, 300 meter, and allow have the radius of looking about 25 nautical miles. Okay. I open the food for you, for Thai. Yes. Okay. This one, aluminum foil. Keep clean. Easy for open. Normally when you abandon the ship, right, separate one by one, but not keep waiting 24 hours. Keep
one piece we can fill one day.
Yes.
One day is
Maybe more than one day. More than 1 day. High energy. Don't eat too much.
So if we eat that, become hungry or very strong?
No, hungry, but we talk about the calorie, like,
calorie.
Enough for you living.
Most of us are for visiting beach resorts at least once a year. However, you shouldn't forget that the sea is as attractive as wayward. Do you know how to swim and behave in the open water? Here are several rules that might save your life one day. The most important trick is number 1, as it works wonders in any desperate situation. Number 8. calm down. It's not surprising that people who find themselves in the open water have a wild fear for their life. However, panic definitely won't help you. It can cloud your judgment and make you lose the rhythm of breathing. Therefore, the first thing you should do is to calm down. Number 7, choose the right swimming style. In this situation, sooner or later, you'll have to move in the water. The style of swimming you choose determines how long your strength will last. Remember these 2 rules. 1, in calm water, it's better to swim on your back. In this case, you'll get the opportunity to relax as much as possible and breathe evenly. 2, if waves splash around you, it's better to swim on your belly. For instance, try the breaststroke. Take a breath of air, then lower your head into the water and exhale. If you don't keep your head above the water surface all the time, you will save more energy. Number 6, find something that floats. If you're in the open sea as a result of a shipwreck or an airplane water landing, there must be plenty of things around you that perfectly keep afloat. It will be even better if it's a boat or a raft with which ships are equipped. Number 5, take care of clothes. Remember that open sunlight can be extremely dangerous, so don't remove your clothes. They'll protect you from the sun. If you're half naked, try to find something that can shelter you from the sun's rays. Ideally, build a tent that will create shade. Number 4, decide what you eat. It's good if you have an emergency food ration on your raft. However, you won't necessarily starve without one. If you have rations, divide them into small daily portions. This will make them last for a long time and you won't have problems with digestion. If you don't have one, you can make a fishing rod from lace and a can as a hook and try to fish. If you lack such items, try catching seaweed. Small fish can get stuck there. Try to fish even if you have stores of food. After all, fish contain some liquid. Never eat spoiled foods, no matter how hungry you are. Number 3, provide yourself with liquid. During a forced sailing, water is much more valuable than food. After all, you almost don't move, and you are wasting little energy. You have to consume the liquid constantly, but never drink seawater. Here are some simple ways to get drinking water. 1, condensate. You'll need a box, 2 containers, waterproof material, and weights. Take 1 container and pour seawater inside. Place the other in a box next to it. Secure some waterproof material, such as polyethylene, above both. Put a weight over the empty container. Soon the container will be filled with fresh water. 2, rainwater. Try to ensure that you always have a couple of empty containers left for collecting rainwater. Don't worry, according to studies, drinking untreated rainwater is safe for your health. Number 2, save yourself properly. It's no wonder that in such a situation, you'll want to step on solid ground as soon as possible. However, you should consider all your rescue measures carefully. Remember these simple rules. If you have no idea where you are, don't row. Rely on the current. It has more chance of carrying you to land. Don't rush into the water if you see a ship in the distance. Don't try to catch up to it. It's almost impossible. It's better to use a signal with a mirror or a piece of can. Don't try to signal by fire so as not to endanger your temporary shelter in the form of a raft. If you were lucky enough to get a few flares, don't send the flares up in a void. Wait until the ship appears at a distance. If you found fluorescing, dissolve it in the water when you can see an airplane or ship. It forms a bright spot around you which can be easily seen from the air and from afar. Number 1, don't lose hope. Despair is your most dangerous enemy. Don't give up hope of being saved. There are many stories of people who were found in the open sea months after their disappearance. For instance, 25-year-old sailor Drew Lim, who worked on a British merchant ship, survived alone 133 days in the open sea. After a shipwreck, he managed to find a raft with fresh water, cooking drips of water. To avoid muscle atrophy, he even floated around the raft twice a day. As you can see, human possibilities are endless. The main thing is to keep calm and hope for the best. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the
Normally, I preparing the medicine from the catalog. IMG, this one. This International Medical Guide for ship. This guide is can teach everything about the medical care. Like this, you can copy for me if you interested. This one. And this one, such as eye injury, and this is how to cure it, how to use the medicine. You can read in this book, okay? And what the medicine you must be preparing on board. Have the see away. See what see away. She's this one, the recommend of the medicine must be on board, with our doctor on board. We separate to the class A, B, C, something like that. About I counting about 62 lists for the medicine. Such as this one is the important amoxicillin. For the ship is must be preparing follow this list. But for the quantity of the medicine up to the crew, if small crew is use small bit. And the list of the equipment must be on board. Quantity like it, follow this. You can copy for me now. The medical kit. And this one we call the ship captain medical guide. We have two paper for medical care, ship captain medical guide, and this one medical lead, the international medical guide for the ship. Proficiency pattern is about the first aid นะครับ how to use the triangle bandage นะครับ like this Okay, I have the one video for the medical guide for you with the basically.
Using an open triangular bandage, place the apex of the bandage about 2 inches below the base. Fold in half horizontally to make a broad bandage. Fold in half again horizontally to make a narrow bandage. Place both ends of the bandage to meet in the middle. Fold in each side to the center. Fold in the center to make a pressure pad. Using a narrow bandage, make 2 loops with each end facing opposite directions. Place hand through both loops and secure around the wrist. Each loose end is tied around the patient's neck using a reef knot. In the case of an arm fracture, keep the arm completely immobilized by tying 2 narrow slings around the injured arm above and below the fracture site and tie under the uninjured arm. Using a narrow bandage, hold one end in your hand and wrap the bandage around spread fingers. Wrap the tail end of the bandage around the donut to hold it together. For musculoskeletal injuries, such as sprains, an elastic roller bandage can be used to apply firm and even pressure for support and to minimize swelling. When applying a roller bandage, always be sure that the pressure is even and firm. Ensure that the circulation of blood is not slow to the fingers or toes of the affected limb. This can be checked by squeezing the tip of the toe or finger and looking for the return of colour to the part. Place the injured arm across the chest with the hand towards the shoulder of the opposite side. Place a triangular bandage over the injured arm with the apex towards the elbow of the injured limb. Tuck the bandage from below the arm under the injured limb. Take the inside edge of the bandage and twist with the outside edge at the elbow. Pull the bandage around from one elbow to the shoulder of the uninjured limb to meet at the other point. Tie a reef knot just below the collarbone and tuck the loose end in. Hold one end of the bandage in each hand. Place the right end over the left end and loop it under so it is now on the left side. Take the new left side end and place it over the right side end and loop it under. Pull each end tightly across to make a reef knot. The flat side of the knot should be facing down for comfort. To untie the knot, take the left end and pull it across to the right. This will loosen the knot, making it easier to remove. Place pressure pad onto the wound. If possible, ask the patient or assistant to hold the pad in place. Using an open triangular bandage, place the middle of the bottom edge just above the eyebrows, ensuring that pressure is constantly maintained on the wound. Bring the two ends of the bandage over the ears and to the back of the head. Tie the ends together and pull to tighten it at the base of the skull. Bring the ends to the front and tie a reef knot on the forehead. Tuck the ends into the bandage on the sides. Place one hand on top of the head and by pulling on the excess material under the knot at the back of the neck, the head bandage will tighten and pressure will be maintained on the wound. Using a magazine or a stick as a splint, tie one narrow bandage below and one above the fracture site. Use an open triangular bandage placed under the injured arm and across the body. The apex of the triangular bandage should point to the side of the injury and one end should sit over the shoulder of the uninjured side. Tuck the apex in behind the elbow. And take the loose end to the shoulder of the injured limb and around the neck to meet the other end. Tie the ends together in a reef knot just below the collarbone. Check circulation in the arm by squeezing the tip of the thumb, looking for the return of colour to the part. A neck brace can be easily made by folding a magazine and wrapping it up in a triangular bandage. The height of the brace should be 12 to 15 centimeters. Rub the wrapped magazine around your knee to give it more flexibility.
when you abandon the ship, when you go to the liner, what we have this one too, the VHF for connecting another vessel. And this one the life jacket. This one life jacket for the sea, for the sea going, not in the fresh water. Because of this type can pull the head upper the water. In the fresh water, not have this one, and this one have the like solar approved, solar and MSC approved. The price is very expensive if approved. This one is about $100. For approved. Can take for me it's easy, 140 kilogram. Everyone can use it. And this the light, fat light is can see is in the normal vapor is about 2.5 mile. 2.5 mile. Have the whistle. How long the lamp? How long the lamp is have the duration 8 hours. When you see another vessel, okay. If you not see, close. Everything. Yes. If you have the side another vessel, open. Not having anything, only fish, don't open. Okay? Like fishing. How to wear it. Very easy for take in, but when take out is a different difficult. ที่มันระเบิดแบบแก๊สนะแบบแก๊สก็ได้ครับแต่มันแพงกว่านี้นะแบบแก๊สที่เราใช้หรือว่าใช่ที่เราตลาดเนี่ยเราแต่อันนั้นไม่ตัวร้านไม่เราพูดเราใส่อันนี้เราพูดถึงประสบการณ์เราแต่เราจะเป็นแก๊สไม่กี่วันมันก็รู้ว่ามันกาแฟ It's good better more than the inflatable light jacket. When you the CO2 gas light in the airplane, when you use, yeah. But over one day, the gas is leaky. This one not leaky. This save more than. Okay. Take out. Take it out. For the life jacket that use the CO2. The solar is not certificate. You can check the certificate that you have the thing here. Defected case. This one, the medicine in the nylon. You can see. Paracetamol. Antiseptic cream. And clindamycin ointment. Optic ointment. Same. นไอโอดีนโควิโดนไอโอดีนนะครับ how this okay you have some question for the abandoned ship
So is it all this history must have in fishing boat or any
150 northern net over must be in the
100 important only?
yeah must be in the fishing boat but I think it's a medicine box must have because imported such as paracetamol and antiseptic medicine first aid kit is I think very important. I have the one this one you can see this one from Europe standard from the European fishing boat. This one quantity per 10 crew. For Thai fishing boat is more than 30
around 30 to 40
30 to 40 one fishing boat.
one fishing boat for the same.
That means cut tea time.